My name is Allison, and this is my Michael. They're going to be presenting one of their final project from a course that we did called Discourse Analysis of Daily Language and Communication, Manifest the Latent Levels of Language, where we basically worked all year to look at when people are talking, what are they really saying? What are they saying underneath and between the content and the words of their speech? So my Michael are going to give us an example of the research project that they did and what they found.
Okay. So during this course, we've learned that a person's narrative holds more than meets the eye, and everything we say matters because subconsciously we choose what to share, what to avoid, and how to tell a story. The same story can be told differently as many times as the narrator tells it. So in this presentation, we're going to talk about the methods of analysis that we use, main topics and research questions. The main topic was learning, and the materials we used, interviews, and our findings and conclusions. Okay, regarding method of analysis, we learned some useful tools to help us produce our assumptions of analyzing during the course. The first one is inclusion. Inclusion refers to representing facts, events, and periods from the teller's life history that are compatible with the story endpoint. Like every story we tell has an endpoint. We want to tell something. We want to get to the endpoint of the story when we say something. We don't usually talk for no reason. Sharpening is the emphasis of life facts that are compatible with the endpoint. Sharpening is the third tool. It's the second tool. Omission. Omission is a non-reporting of life facts irrelevant to the endpoint. If I don't want to say anything, I will just omit it. Okay, it's irrelevant to what I'm trying to explain, and I will just not talk about it. Silencing relates to non-reporting of life facts that contribute to the EP. This is something that I won't tell because it contradicts my endpoint. Okay? I don't want to say something because I don't want it to interrupt what I'm trying to do.
It's not that it's irrelevant, it's contradict. That's the difference between omission and silencing.
Yes. Fluttering refers to the condensation of life facts. These are reported by markedly reduced. This is so because either they are irrelevant or contradict the story. I can choose to flatten. I will say something about it, but I will not extend because it either contradicts or irrelevant to my story. Appropriate meaning attribution refers to conferring life facts with significance compatible with the endpoint. I will talk about only things that are relevant to my endpoint. Okay? The main topic was learning. We did our research about learning and learning with ADHD, learning disabilities. Since we are studying for our degree in education, the general topic was learning. We found it interesting to have our research conducted on the concept of learning with disabilities. We focused on understanding the process of learning as pupils with difficulties experience it. While we were trying to answer the main question, what is learning? So two of our research questions were, what is learning in the way you perceive it? That's the question we're going to talk about it today. And how can you tell that learning has happened? Okay. Material used. We interviewed 3 people. We conducted 3 interviews. 2 teachers for 10 minutes each, approximately 10 minutes, and 1 student for almost 15 minutes. Adar is 30 years old. She has teaching experience of 5 years. I lost my words today. Teaching experience of 5 years at elementary school. And Dorit is 42 years old. She teaches. She's preparing for the 5 units for Wood Farm. Yes, for the last 15 years. She has overall experience of 25 years. And Stav is just finished high school with a full Baku diploma and is diagnosed with ADHD. Although Adar teaches English while Dorit teaches math, is teaching math, we all agreed that in both subjects we have information that should be memorized. While Dorit focused on practicing, Adar focused on memorizing and drilling. On the contrary, Stav addressed learning as experimenting and mistaking of the individual. We will elaborate on both aspects later on.
Okay, so we usually put our entire effort to find the gaps and the similarities between all three interviews. As we mentioned before, we took the narrative, we transcribed it, we translated it, and then we found what each word and what each pronoun actually say regarding the content of the interview. So in Dorit's narrative, her transcript is very based on you in the male form. She's always saying ata lomed, ata matzliach in Hebrew. And so we found that maybe she has lots of pupils that are males, or she describes something general because she's a math teacher, and usually math is best appropriate with male figures. So we thought about one option.
This, of course, all assumptions.
Yeah, there are assumptions. We don't really know for sure. It's only things we elicit from the text. She said strict and well exposed that, in her opinion, learning is enriching your world of knowledge. Hadar, on the other hand, used the pronoun I. She said that she has, when I want to convey a particular topic. Learning for me is when I want to convey a particular topic. It's only one example for the pronoun I, how she used it. And when she used the pronoun we, she discussed on how to practice it. What I mean is that when she talks about practice, she includes her pupils. When she talks about teaching them, she's only saying, I am teaching, I have the knowledge, I give them the information, I explain in class, they practice together with me. Stav is the pupil. He used the pronoun I basically because he was describing his own experiences. He talked about how he learned best, how he enriched his own knowledge. He said that learning for him is anything external that affects him, or anything that he can catch. Catch is the word for collect, that is a slang in Hebrew. He used the word collect a lot of times. Words that I can catch and change my patterns. He also said that they did not sit and teach me, they the teachers. That it is a learning process of little filter. What he said that, first of all, the pronoun they differentiate between the groups of pupils and the groups of teachers. So it's like two camps that is opposing one another. And what he said here, that he is the active one. He wants to learn, so he filters the information he receives from the teachers, which I think is very a great thing for a 19-year-old person to say in this age. So it's my own opinion. Dorit usually teaches males. This is the reason why she used the pronoun your as male singular. We analyzed her words as learning is a process of the individual that occurs through experience and practice. Hadar, on the other hand, treated learning as a process of memorizing, drilling, and then practice. It's first and foremost drilling and memorizing. she treated herself as the one who obtained the knowledge and passed it on. That's it. You can click. Yes. We tried to find the gaps between what the teachers said among themselves and what the teacher said between the students. So we divided it like this. The similarities between what the teacher said are that both of them used the male form of you many times in their narrative. And they both agree that learning is a process. And they said that practice should be included in the process of learning. The gaps between what they said is that the experience versus memorizing and drilling. Dorit really focused on giving the pupils the opportunity to practice themselves the material, while Hadar teaches mostly vocabulary, and she focused on drilling and memorizing and then exercising together. And they both differentiate them from the class, from the pupils. So they used you versus they versus me or I, and they used you versus I. You are a third party, and I am the one who gives the information. And the similarities between what the teacher said and the pupil said are that they both see learning, they all three treats learning as a process of the individual, and they believe that learning happens through experiencing it. And the students, there is a student group versus a teacher's group. And we can see that there is a huge gap between what the teacher said and what the student said, because we have so many words and stars there. They said that the third party, the teacher said that the third parties are the one who passes the information, as opposed to what Stav said. He said, I collect the information I want to know, I want to learn. The learners filter, that's what Stav said, he filtered the information to his own use. Learning values and life skills versus subjects in school. Both of the teachers talked about teaching English, teaching math, learning English, learning math. When Stav talks about learning only values, life skills, how to apply something that he heard,
Such as riding a bike, or he heard his father talk about something.
or how to treat old people, how to act as a person. Again, memorizing versus experiencing, learning with a purpose, and to apply, and what is learned versus learning for tests. Most of the teachers talked about learning in class, learning in to get a high score. And Stav really talked about how he is going to be formed as a human being, as a person, and use all the life skills, even English and math, but in a way that helps him to improve himself, to change his patterns if he doesn't like them. So
what we're trying to say, there's so many researchers that claiming that pupils only come to school in order to learn, to get their good exams, to get their good diploma, and just finish with it. As a matter of fact, we see that the teacher here is, that both teachers here are referring to learning as something that happens only in school. Like, I will teach him the subject, the material, the topic that I need to pass on, and that's it. I don't care what he uses it for. We just need to pass that test. And Stav talked about
learning
overall. Every time he does something, he learns. Every time he listens to somebody, he learns. And he gets the full experience of learning from everywhere, not just in class.
And he's active. He takes what he wants to learn. Here they usually said that the only part that they are active is the part when they practice. And this is another gap.
So our conclusion from this research is that learning is a process of acquiring information. Learning influences the learner's inner world, and it involves memorizing, guidance, active interaction, practicing and applying knowledge, and it takes time. It's a process that takes time. That's it.
Thank you very much for listening.